The subjects of this edition of the mailbag include candidates for the tender sheet in Vegas, the off-season of Buffalo, the future of Chuck Fletcher in Philadelphia, and much more. If your question does not appear here, come back to the messaging bag last weekend. Aka.nda, thoughts you would like to share on the Golden Knights. As a fan of Kraken, earlier, I hoped that they would offer a Nicolas Roy leaf, which I said to myself rare. It looks like he could have had for an agreement. Do you think teams are considering someone there, not just VGKs? Although there has been a couple in recent years, supply sheets are still quite rare. In a market where many teams seek to generate money, it is difficult to think that there are teams that will be ready to place an offer superior to the market to try to land a limited free agent. This does not help that many teams who have enough space to try to borrow on this road are teams that are not particularly interested in trying to compete for the moment, and are therefore probably not inclined to make an offer that will cost them a recovery choice. I think you are right to identify Vegas as a team particularly vulnerable to a supply sheet. Roy, in particular, is a viable candidate. His camp clearly knows that, as by not depositing wage arbitration earlier this month, he is always eligible to receive a one-year supply sheet in the level of choice of the second round could be sufficient to have it signed, because it would represent a substantial increase compared to the minimum wage which he has received in the past 2 years. Defender Nicolas Hague is another player who would be a candidate for the intriguing tender sheet. I am intrigued to see what Vegas will do. They will clearly be in Ltir after having acquired the rest of the Shea Weber and Nolan Patrick contract, could also be there for the season with uncertainty surrounding his future. Notwithstanding the various mechanisms involved in the calendar of locations which can affect the real ceiling space, which would give them about $7.5 million to operate, to use a simple number. Is it enough for Roy, Haye, Keegan Kolesar, and at least another before doing the minimum? If this is the plan, they will hold on and try to ensure that the Hague concludes a really cheap year agreement, and he could then have enough to commit a medium-term contract to Roy, who buys a year or two from Phr or two. But even with that, they will be creative with their Ltir use throughout the season. If nothing else, they are clearly used to navigating this situation.